tell me about your journey from playing music to, being a creator, a composer.
Oh, well, so the short of it is I got my start in classical settings as a child. I was in the children's choir of Tampa Bay. I played tuba throughout high school, a little bit through college. I've had a background in jazz for quite some time. And at somewhere in my 20s, I picked up a digital audio workstation. And now I produce a bunch of different kind of electronic music.
Do you still play the tuba? You still got that in your closet?
No, I sold my tuba like 3 years ago, unfortunately. I would love to play it again, though.
Yeah. And are you sort of making a go of it as a full-time kind of creator and performer? Do you have something else on the side to keep you going?
Oh, yes. I think the environment these days for a lot of independent artists is such that you kind of have to have like something going on in the background to help you stay alive. And for me, I work as a math, physics, and music theory tutor at Hillsborough Community College.
Math, physics, and music theory. Now, I've heard there's this connection between math and music. Has that helped you out? But physics and music as well, do they all kind of blend together?
Yeah, I like to think that a lot of disciplines tend to overlap. There is a bunch of overlap between all disciplines. You can look for one if you can't see one, and I promise you'll find one. But with music and math, yes, there is a huge connection there. I can honestly say that my education in music theory really helped me discover my love for math.
Yeah. All right, Erin, tell us about how you got into music. What kind of led you to where you are now as a folk musician?
So my journey probably started when I was about 16. I actually was borrowing a violin from my high school and was borrowing a saxophone as well. And I wasn't very good at either one of them necessarily, but...
Those are both pretty tough instruments to get good at quickly though, right? I mean, violin and saxophone, you got to really focus.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And there were a lot of people at my school who were like absolutely phenomenal too at both of those. But I was losing my violin because I wasn't able to continue with the orchestra program because there was a class that I had to take that conflicted. And so I was just getting into Bob Dylan at the time, and I picked up this old guitar that was almost in the attic. It's like really, really old. And my dad had a songbook of Bob Dylan songs, and so that's kind of what got me started playing folk music.
What year was this?
What year was this? I'm trying to think, when was I 16? I think it was probably like 2008.
Okay. I mean, because like, how common is it amongst your contemporaries for people to say, I just got into Bob Dylan? Like, is he still somebody who people kind of gravitate towards?
Well, I mean, he's relevant in a lot of circles. I think it's probably in more of a niche audience. Actually, I was just talking to Ruben outside. Ruben was talking about Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie and everything. So there are, I would say, a fair amount of people who definitely know. And then there was the Timothy Chalamet movie that just released in Christmas. But at the time, no. It was like at the time that I was in school, it felt like it was just me. Yeah. And it probably wasn't, but just like the people that I hung around, it definitely did feel like it was just me getting into it.
All right, so you've got your guitar, you got your harmonica with us, with you. You going to play something for us?
Yeah, I actually just released a single about a month ago. So yeah, I'll give it a whirl.
All right.
This is called Machine. We have questions for our leaders. We have answers in the wind. We have an eve of demolition and votes we can't rescind. They say God's not in destruction, but he supports the great divide. But when he broke bread with brothers, were there weapons in his eyes? It's time we all start listening to people on the other side. They tell us we're so different because they want us to divide. It's time we all start listening before the water makes us ill. In a time of great uncertainty, I'll just say This machine doesn't kill. There are slaves in California fighting fires for your homes. The prisoners, low wages, and the slam poets writing poems for the people at the border who have no other place to turn. But power can't see privilege when only robots learn. It's time we all start listening to people on the other side. They tell us we're so different because they want us to divide. It's time we all start listening before the water makes us ill. In a time of great uncertainty, I'll just say, this machine doesn't kill. Well, Dollar Tree ain't a dollar, and you know tariffs might make it 5. When they refuse to offer healthcare, will their cashiers stay alive? While we cut the FAA, planes of kids burn in a river. The poor elect the businessmen, and the rich keep getting richer. It's time we all start listening to people on the other side. They tell us we're so different because they want us to divide. It's time we all start listening before the water makes us ill. In a time of great uncertainty, I'll just say, this machine doesn't kill. Cesar Chavez got his freedom singing colors in the spring. And women got the right to vote when they did not eat a thing. Woody Guthrie got his unions for the Okies then oppressed. But no one looks at the homeless while they're typing #blessed. It's time we all start listening to people on the other side. They tell us we're so different because they want us to divide. It's time we all start listening before the water makes us ill. In a time of great uncertainty, I'll just say, this machine doesn't kill.
Erin Olds, thank you so much for performing. That was awesome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So you're really going old school with the guitar and harmonica. I mean, and is it hard to pull that off? The kind of coordination, singing, guitar, harmonica. What's going on in your brain while you're putting all that together?
It's actually funny you ask that. So like when I play at like local venues, I actually add like a percussion element with my feet. So I have like a tambourine on one foot, and then I have like a cajon, which is a type of hand drum, and a kick pedal on the other foot. The coordination is difficult for me. Like, it has improved with practice, but like, I think part of it though is that like I don't feel like I'm specifically good at any of the instruments. Like, I think I can be good at putting them together, but I've heard people who are like really, really good harmonica players, and it can move you to tears when you can hear what some people can do on harmonica. And so I can accompany myself on harmonica, but I think ultimately it's just like worrying about the coordination, the rhythm, and sometimes when I play live, sometimes not focusing on it. Like if there's like a sports game in the background, sometimes I'll just be watching that, because the more you think about it, the more you give yourself chances to mess up.
Right. So you're playing in sort of a bar and something's going on, and that can be a little distracting.
Well, yeah, exactly. And to some extent, you want to be distracted so that you're a little bit more unfocused on it. Because it's when I start worrying about, like, oh, you know, is the harmonica sounding okay? Or is my foot coordination okay, am I on beat? Then like when I start thinking about it and worrying about it, that's like when I'm most prone to mess up.
Got an email here from Angel Seacrest who writes, love Tyler David and his music. He brings such authenticity. So glad you had him on today. Thanks for that email. If you want to email us too, you can send us your comments. We're at Florida Matters at WUSF.org. Ruben, let me go back to you for a moment. So talk about Tiny Desk. What was the kind of motivation for you entering that? This was a couple of years back now, but it's really snowballed in popularity, right? Was it something you're like, okay, this is something I want to just do for the sake of it, or this is going to be a stepping stone?
I think at the time I did want to... I was helping out a friend with her Tiny Desk performance, and I had this song that I really, really loved. I wanted to perform it in some way, and that just seemed to make sense, the band that I had put together for her. I had also done this. I was running the sound for her as well, and I just thought, well, if I'm rehearsing these guys, why don't I just do one of my tunes? And I didn't really have any illusions of where it might lead. But it was just something I really enjoyed, and it seemed to have a good reception.
We also found a sample of yours, a song called "Everyone Wants to Be a Cat." Can you explain the story behind that?
Oh, okay. So yes, I consider myself to be primarily a producer. I do write and I do sing, but that is my bread and butter. That is what I think I am good at. And so I've been releasing a series of projects that are purely instrumental, and my biggest influence for like the past 10 years now is a man named Thundercat. I've been listening to that man's music forever. I used to really obsess about him, and that's kind of where all of my themes come from. You know, everybody wants to be a cat. That's kind of my way of saying, hey, I kind of want to be like Thundercat.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of like your muse?
Yeah, honestly, he's probably my biggest influence these days.
Yeah. Erin,
Still.
what was your experience of Tiny Desk?
Yeah, so this was a couple years ago. I have a friend who just texted me about the contest, and like I knew about it. I listen to Tiny Desk all the time, but I never really thought about entering until she had texted me. And so it was really fun. I already had this song. Making the video was a little bit hard because, you know, I mean, you have to be in the video and coordinate, you know, like what your face looks like, which I think was a little bit of a struggle for me. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. And I think through entering it, probably the best part was like I learned about other indie musicians, maybe who haven't been signed yet. And I didn't realize that there was like this whole database that you could look at for all the entrants on Tiny Desk. Like before I entered, I had no idea about that. So sometimes even like on my playlist on YouTube, I'll hear somebody and I'm like, oh yeah, I learned about them from Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
In the last few seconds we have here, Ruben, I understand you composed some music for a video game which comes out soon?
Yes, so next Monday there's a game. It is a roguelike deck builder. The best way I can explain that is it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Meets Final Fantasy VII and meets Dungeons and Dragons. And it's called Dog Witch. It's about this little dog. He's a witch. He faces trials and tribulations, and I had the honor of composing music for that video game.
Oh, wow. And where can we find both of your stuff? Like, what are your handles?
Okay, so you can find me on all streaming services under the name Rugawd. That is Rugawd. And on most social platforms, it is Rugawd Music with a K. Okay,
and Erin?
So you can just find me on all streaming platforms under Erin Olds. So that's just ErinOlds. And my handle on Instagram is Mrs. Tambourine Man.